Hi everybody, Brandon here, and welcome back to another workshop here. And I was working on a little project today. I want you to meet Yoda here. I was working on a little project today that I thought that we could film. So I'm trying to do something that I've never done before today. So I thought that it would be good to film this for a workshop. So this is a rubber Yoda mask, and this was actually it's all in parts now, but this is a piece that was used for a costume, a Halloween costume that I made for myself many years ago. I decided I was going to be Luke Skywalker one Halloween. So I made the whole outfit, and basically this was just sort of a rubber mask that I attached to a simple little body, and this was just extra stuffing that was in the gloves. And this was sort of the Yoda that was hanging on my back there as Luke Skywalker from The Empire Strikes Back. And it was a great costume. I had a lot of fun that year. But after that, I just put this in my storage, and it's been there ever since. But I thought that we could use this because I kind of want to have a Yoda puppet for an upcoming comedy sketch that I'm working on with my friend Michael, who's another puppeteer. We'll see that video in the future. But yeah, like I said, we can kind of I had sort of a plan for this, because I think that if anyone else has rubber masks that they want to convert into a puppet, then they might be able to learn something from this. So we'll just have to see. So there's a slit in the back of the mask that makes it easier to put on the head, and I had sealed that, overlapped that quite a bit to make the neck hole a lot smaller. But I think I'm just going to keep this body. I also attached a hole in the back of this body here that I can enter my hand, and that's sort of where my hand's going to enter. So that's all the work I've done in altering it. But what's left to do, I sort of see a 3-step process here. What I'm going to do is, the first step, I'm going to fill the top of the head here with foam. And that's because right now there's nothing my hand is down here, so there's all this empty space. There's nothing to sort of rest on my hand, so I want to fill that space. And I have the foam here, more than enough foam, I think, in order to do that. So I'll make sort of a shape. Out of that foam and fill up the top of the head. So that's going to be the first step. The second step, I'm going to be creating the mouth piece, the internal mouth plate that I'll glue to the inside so that I can manipulate the mouth. I slit open the mouth a little bit more too. There was only like a 1-inch little slit here originally that I guess is just sort of meant for whoever wears this to sort of breathe through. But I made that bigger so that his mouth is more like 3 to 4 inches open now in the latex rubber. And the eyes will just be glued in from the inside, and they're going to be stationary. But I'm creating a mouth plate for the mouth. It's going to be the second step. Then the third step will just be to create a way for me to be able to manipulate the gloves that I was using for those. And these were the gloves. They were green before, but I painted them orange. But these are the ones we're going to be using. So I'll just attach these to this. Have a way of doing that. It should be simple. And then we'll have a little puppet that we made out of a rubber mask. So let's just see if this works. So first step, filling the top of the head. All right, so here is the head. And here's the foam I've collected, which is pretty much got most of this foam from the dollar store. These I think this was like a washing sponge. These were like a pack of sponges that you get. I also used the pink ones of these for tongues, are really good. I have one of them here. So I always save the pink foam for tongues. But the other colors are good as well for things like what we're doing today. And then these ones were like larger sponges for like washing your car. They actually had a cover on these, but I just took the cover off and just used the foam. So there we are. So that should be more than enough for sort of filling the top 50% basically of this rubber mask. And I think that's pretty good. I think I'm pretty much just going to kind of glue all of these blocks together and then just start carving by cutting and snipping His ears have already been stuffed. I noticed I had already done that, so that's good. Let's see. Let's do some measurements, just so I know. Looks like at least a foot over. Oh yeah, it's gonna be more than, yeah, it's gonna be plenty. Yep, that should be good. Let me see, the distance between the ears is about a foot. Yep, this is gonna be good. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have faith in that this is going to just all be a suitable fit for this. So I'm gonna next step is gonna be it's gonna be a lot of glue. I'm gonna glue all this together and make a big block, and then we are going to, yeah, and then I'm gonna carve it down. And I'm gonna snip away at it until it starts to look like the appropriate fit for this. And then I might also create, after I've created it, I think I might also make a lining for it, but I'll get to that later. All right, so that involved a little glue, but there we are. There's the last piece that I'll just stick on there. So there we are. So there's all the sponges glued together. And I'm just gonna let that sit now for a while, let the glue really dry and hold really strong. But that's a nice block. And I looked at the distance from the top of the head to what appeared to be sort of like the eye level. And on the puppet, that is, I'm talking about here. And I think that this is high enough. I did have this extra piece of foam that I was gonna use for the top. I don't think we need that. So I'm just gonna save that piece of foam. Because this is, let's see here. This is now about 4.5 inches high, this block. And yeah, that should be good. That should be plenty. Yep, looks good. So we're gonna go with that. So just let that dry I'll probably leave it for like at least an hour. And then I'm just gonna start snipping away at this and carving this and trying to make this resemble more a shape that will fit in this head here. All right, so I've done my first little go over and created this sort of dome shape. So I'm just gonna see now if this is gonna be able to fit into this or not. Let's see, it's gonna be a little tricky getting this in. Oof, this is gonna be hard. Yikes. Let's see, if I squish this down really small. Yikes, I might have to cut this. I didn't want to have to reopen this, keeping the head closed, because I wanted to have the head the way I want it, so it looks full. Oh boy, this is tough. I think we got it though. Okay, so that feels pretty good actually. Just kind of shoving this up there. So let's see here. Now, I don't need to worry about the eyes because the eyes will have false eyes. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So this was just the first. Yes, okay, that's good. I guess that's gonna be good enough. Let's see here. I think that's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now, because now that will rest on top of my hand while my hand is at the right spot. Yeah, that's good. And I can fill it even some more back here if I want. I might want to add a little extra bump in the back. But one thing I also want to do is, that was just a fitting. I have to take this out now. And I'm just going to attach a lining to the bottom of this. I'm just going to get some black fabric and just line the bottom of the foam on the inside so that it's not, my hand isn't just resting on exposed foam. Yeah, that's good. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on the mouth plate. So I'm going to start drafting that. And Remember that foam, this foam that we saved from the block on the inside of the head? I think I'm going to be using that for the mouth. I think this will be good because we're going to want to have some foam to fill out the lips once we make the mouth plate. So this has a nice curve to it already, which kind of fits the mouth. So I think this will be really good to use. Yeah, so let's get going on the mouth plate. All right, so I have a piece of cardboard here, and what I'm going to do is stick that in his mouth and trace a line for the mouth plate. Now I'm gonna just do the same shape for the top and bottom of the mouth, I believe. I'm gonna fill this out as much as I can. Get him to like really bite that. So here's the top. It's kind of hard to see that. Here, I'll do it in marker now that I've done it in pencil. I just didn't want to do it in marker right up against the mask in case the marker touched the latex. So that's the basic idea of what I just... And I just want to see if this would be suitable for the bottom as well. So now let's... I guess I'll make the bottom a little smaller. I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe I should. That does look smaller, doesn't it? Maybe I should do another one for the small, the bottom. Oops. Okay, so this is the top plate, and this is the bottom plate, which does look a little smaller. All right, so there's the bottom plate, there's the top plate, and now I'm going to cut those out, and I'm going to make it out of this, and I'll use the back side. I like these. I like to use these for mouth plates. And then what I'm going to also do is, yeah, it's going to be a good fit, this sponge. I'm just going to attach some foam to each of these, and then just shave it down to form the shape of the lip here. So I think that should be good. So yeah, cut these out of this. I might attach a popsicle stick or so to it as well. And this would also make a good little, if I glue this to the plate, I'll have a little spot for me to put my fingers into as well. So this will work really well. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut those out of this, glue maybe a popsicle stick to it to make it a little more rigid, and then attach some foam to it. And then they're also gonna be, the inside of the mouth will also be painted black. And then I also have to have a way of attaching these. How am I going to do that? Or maybe I don't have to do that. I can probably just make each plate separate and then glue them in. They don't necessarily have to be attached, because I don't think you'll be able to see that far back into the mouth. I don't know. I could attach a piece of fabric to them. I'll have to think about that. All right, so here's where we're at on the mouthpiece so far. So here's the bottom and here's the top. And I put the popsicle sticks on there for sturdiness and to sort of guide my finger from the inside so I'll be able to feel. And I cut a little notch of the foam out as well. So that's basically how it'll look. But what I need to do is also shape this foam a bit because it's sort of like a curve on the lip. So I'm going to curve this a bit. Yeah, kind of like that. There's that one, and then we'll do it again to this one. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I like that. So that's it. So now the next step I'm going to do is paint. What I'm going to do is just paint the flat part of this black on both sides. I don't think I'm going to attach them. See, first I was thinking was we could put like a piece of fabric here. So that, but that wouldn't actually work anyways, now that I think of it, because these popsicle sticks are sticking out a little bit, so they wouldn't be able to open. So I'm glad I didn't do a mouth piece actually now. Because what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to paint these black, and then put glue on the foam side and glue these to the inside of the mouth here. And then I'll think about whether we're going to do a tongue or not. But that's just, yeah, so next step is painting them black. And then, like I say, adding contact cement to this and the inside of the mask. That's going to be a little tricky, but we'll do it. Attach contact cement to the inside of the mouth and attach these. And then there should be a little mouth that we can manipulate. That's black on the inside. So, black paint next. All right, so here are the plates now that are kind of complete, I think. So now these have to be glued to the inside of the mask. It's going to be a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is, I think, just see, first I'm going to sort of fit this. And what I might do is draw a little bit of a line so I know sort of the boundaries of the glue. I think that's a good idea. So I don't know if the camera's picking this up. I'm just going to place the mouth plate. This is the top one that I'm using right now, I think. Let me just check, yeah. Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna like draw a little like marker line there. Okay, yeah, that worked out well. And now the bottom. All right, so I just put some guidelines in. All right, so now I'm going to carefully put some glue down in there. And we might do a little bit of a wet fit. We'll try to make sure I don't make a mess of this. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. Yeah, this is good. So make sure that this is all well coated in here. Yeah, here's sort of the inside of the mask. I'll just kind of show. I just kind of drew with the markers some little black lines that showed sort of the outline of where the mouth plate's going to be, so that's where I wanted to put the glue. So that's the inside. All right, we're almost ready to attach. All right, well, I'm going to start attaching this now. So here's the top mouth plate. And I guess we can turn around and look here too to make sure that it's online. That looks good. Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, good. All right, so put that in there. And now I'm going to put the lower plate. All right, good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. All right, so I'm just going to let that sort of dry a little bit. And then we'll see how that looks. So yeah, I got these googly eyes just for temporary. I'll put these eyes in as well, just so that he's looking at something, but they'll just be that sort of like, until I can get something nicer. But yeah, these will just be good for that. All right, here you can see it's sort of coming together. Just to get the eyes temporarily in, and the mouth looks pretty good. See the mouth plate there? It looks black inside. And I'll manipulate the mouth a little bit. Still want the glue to dry, but you can see I can move the mouth now. Just a little bit. But just a little bit is all we need. Oh, Yoda didn't move his mouth very much anyway. Hello? Hello? See, it's good enough. Just, no. Anyway, I can be a little more daring with it after it dries for a little while longer. All right, so now the arms, I'm just starting to stuff him a little bit more. His left arm is just going to be sort of pinned up, sort of like this. Because I'm going to be using my left hand to perform with this, I think. So I want to be able to have the right hand slip my hand in and out. So I made a little slit here so that I can put my hand in. That might be good enough. We'll see. I can always maybe cut that a little bit. This cut, it's just the underseam of the sleeve. So that'll be the next step. Let me just attach those hands, and then we'll be just about done. All right, here's a closer look at the mouth plate, because probably couldn't see it very well from here. I'll put my hand in to show. All right. Really hard to see, I know. Ugh. Yeah, but the point is that it's black. It's kind of hard to see. There, you can kind of see there. And I'll probably have some kind of little tongue in there eventually. Yeah, look, it looks pretty good. All right, so here it's the puppet coming along. And the other part of the costume was just this tattered up piece of hemp cloth that I had made for him. So I'll see if I can, let's see, yeah. Because this will hide a lot of the mess going on, or we just kind of like drape him in the fabric. All right, just pull this left hand through this armhole. All right, that looks pretty good. So there you are. There's pretty much the finished puppet. I'll just pin it in a few spots and then actually get my hands in there and try it out and see how it feels. All right, so there we go, guys. There's sort of the puppet, how it's sort of like tentatively looking for now. See? I can move the mouth a bit. I can move the hand. Da-da, na, 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 na. Can't close my eyes doing that, though. But there you are. There you are. That's a serviceable... So there we go. I think that that's a pretty serviceable puppet for now. Yeah, I'm going to work on some of the other details, but yeah, I promise that we will see this puppet again one day, all right? But yeah, there you go. There's sort of a fun little exercise I was able to do in one day, and that's sort of how you can convert a rubber mask into a puppet, all right? So thank you all for watching this workshop. I'm Brandon from the Vancouver Pupps, and I'll see you guys all in the next workshop. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now. Yes. Yes. Yes.